It wasn't an algorithm. You need to understand that first. The images and sounds you were shown, the cryptic numbers that appeared in your recommendations, that was a signal, a tuning fork resonating with something already inside of you. You were chosen because you are one of the few who senses that the reality we see is just a fraction of the whole story, a beautiful, hypnotic, but fragmented echo. For months, you've been collecting those echoes, feeling their power without understanding the source. Consider this video the first translation of that source. This is not another theory or a guess. This is the blueprint, the very architecture of the philosophy you've been subconsciously drawn to. What you are about to see is the key that elevates you from a mere spectator of the mystery to an active participant in its unfolding. The puzzle pieces are in your hands. Now, let's begin to assemble them. Well, let's talk about the shadow. Think of your mind as a theater. There's a corner of the stage where the spotlight doesn't and shouldn't go. Not because it's hiding something terrifying, but simply out of delicacy. It is there that consciousness pauses, not to yield, but to lean in for a closer look. Because the real shadow isn't something to be fought or integrated into your personality. It's a manuscript in a forgotten language, discovered by chance in a well-lit attic. It's meant to be deciphered. In Carl Jung's world, the shadow is what is not admitted into form. But that doesn't make it the enemy. And it's certainly not some cliché dark side of your personality. It's more like a subtle echo in a quiet room, a vast unmapped nature reserve bordering your tidy garden. It's a silent library of all the energies you never called upon. So, what's its purpose? It's not here to guide you. Its job is to disrupt your rhythm, to introduce a little dissonance that, surprisingly, helps you hear the music more clearly. It nests in the folds of habit, in the nervous tick, in the carefully cultivated intolerance. The shadow doesn't have one face, it wears 1,000 masks. But this isn't some chaotic carnival of the unconscious. It's a hidden order, withheld from sight by an excess of light. Imagine you're cruising along on the well-laid tracks of your life. The shadow is what occasionally, almost imperceptibly, tilts the entire landscape. Its goal isn't to derail you, but to gently, or not so gently, remind you that even your safe place is just another fiction you've built. It doesn't push you, but it never forgets. It appears in dreams not to speak, but to alter the grammar of the day. And you, thinking you're the captain of your own ship, might overlook how its influence surfaces. Those sudden jolts of anxiety, those inexplicable bursts of enthusiasm for a new project, those waves of revulsion that come out of nowhere. Think of them as messengers from the shadow. But here's the kicker. You don't need to answer them. You're not being summoned to a negotiation. You just have to learn not to mistake the messenger for you. Because the shadow isn't really yours. It's not inside you. It's a function, a curvature in your reality. Imagine you're sculpting a statue from a block of marble. The statue you create is your conscious self. The shadow? It's all the marble you chipped away. It's the negative space that, paradoxically, gives the final form its meaning. It is structure, not substance. It is not dark because it is evil, nor mysterious because it is deep. It's opaque because it doesn't reflect your light. It's the residue, the margin note. like the fine gold dust left at the bottom of a flask after a failed alchemy experiment. That doesn't make it precious, just relevant. So, what's the game plan? Just watch it. Your goal isn't to expose it, but simply to notice the tiny fissures it creates in the smooth facade of your consciousness. Our conscious mind loves to present itself as a solid, unbroken wall, but it's full of well-disguised cracks. Every crack is a clue. The shadow is the collection of those clues. The shadow is made of all the things you didn't do, the words you didn't say, the paths you consciously avoided. But let's not get romantic about this. There's no buried treasure there. The idea that the shadow is guarding a better you or some dormant superpower waiting to save the day is a fantasy. It's simply a logbook of your deviations. Deviations that help calibrate your trajectory. After all, a straight line only looks straight in contrast to all the crooked lines it could have been. Every state of balance you achieve is, at its heart, a silent compromise with something unseen. The shadow isn't your enemy, but it's not your ally either. It's the collateral effect of being, a negative signature, like the mark time leaves on a serene face. You do not desire it, you do not reject it. You take it into account. You observe it from afar, with the curiosity reserved for unresolved enigmas. And if you ever think, aha, I've got it figured out, that's your cue to stop. You're just projecting your own light onto something that was born from the absence of it. The shadow is defined by its ability to escape your grasp. It's the edge of the map that redraws itself every time you get close. Ultimately, the clarity of your being is measured by how precisely you can trace the outline of what you are not. Jung knew this. The point isn't to drag the shadow into the light. It's to stop mistaking it for the light. It's about not giving it a noble status it doesn't have, or looking to it for salvation. The shadow won't save you. It won't liberate you. But it will signal. It is a sign. An arrow that points to nothing except to the fact that you are looking too straight ahead. And so yes, you may go on walking, thinking, choosing, with the awareness perhaps that behind every decision there is an absence. That your identity is not solid but hollowed. That light is not total but strategic. And that is a virtue. Because true mastery does not lie in dominating the darkness, nor in befriending it, but in knowing where not to look, and doing so with elegance, with a touch of ironic detachment, like one who knows the map yet prefers not to show it. The shadow, in the end, is useful, not because it contains truth, but because it borders it, and you, who walk in light, need not cross it. You only need not mistake silence for nothingness, and keep observing with a light gaze and your hands in your pockets. See you in the next episode.